Peter, apart from the war, we just got a statement from the president via Truth Social about his chief of staff, and I'm just going to read it in its entirety. Susie Wiles is an incredible chief of staff, a great person, and one of the strongest people I know. But unfortunately, she has been diagnosed with early stage breast cancer and has decided to take on this challenge immediately as opposed to waiting. She has a fantastic medical team and her prognosis is excellent. During the treatment period, she will be spending virtually full time at the White House, which makes me, as president, very happy. Her strength and her commitment to continue doing the job she loves and does so well while undergoing treatment tells you everything you need to know about her. Susie, as one of my closest and most important advisors, is tough and deeply committed to serving the American people. She will soon be better than ever. Melania and I are with her in every way, and we look forward to working with Susie on many big and wonderful things that are happening for the benefit of our country. Let's first of all, we wish Susie Wiles a very fast and speedy recovery from this. Having said that, I don't need to tell you, you've worked at the White House a lot longer than I did. That is a tough job. It's often a job with a lot of turnover, and it's often a job that can be affected very quickly by any change in political fortunes. And yet, this statement does seem to reflect how the president genuinely feels about his chief of staff. How important is she to this White House and to the president?
Well, I think she's been pretty important to this White House and to this president this time around. She is the fifth chief of staff he has had in the 2 terms in the presidency, and the one who seems, by most accounts on the inside anyway, to be most successful, the one who is most able to work with him without getting into conflict. Other chiefs of staff either resisted things that they thought he was doing that were over the top or even illegal, or in some way or another, at some point or another, disappointed him. And that hasn't been the case so far, at least with Susie Wiles. And I think that it's a testament to her political skills that she seemed to have support among the various tribes inside Trump world, right? She doesn't seem to be aligned with one versus the other for the most part. There are some areas where people would say she's aligned, for instance, a little bit more with Marco Rubio than with J.D. Vance. But broadly speaking, she's figured out in her own way how to channel the president's desires and help him, enact them, and does not see herself as somebody to resist his, impulses. She described in interviews with our friend Chris Whipple, who published them in Vanity Fair, different moments where she gave him contrary advice on the January 6th pardons, on tariffs, on deportations, and so forth. And in each case, when he overruled her, she says that she simply came around to believe that he was right and then moved on. So she doesn't look at her job as a way of restraining the president, as some of his past aides have. She looks at it as someone who is there to facilitate him, even when she doesn't agree with him.
Discuss a couple of general.
Thank you so much for that, Peter. And you might have seen Susie Wiles, who is right next to the president in the pink jacket, coming in and getting hugs from many of the folks who are assembled right now for a meeting of the Kennedy Center board, including one from the Speaker of the House. And now you see President Trump is there.